K-Star has done it again, a betrayal of British workers, and this time, it's in broad daylight. Just moments after Downing Street's business team labeled it as a landmark trade deal with India, the fury erupted. Protesters gathered within minutes, their voices rising in outrage, their chants echoing throughout the streets. Crowds swelled in size as the news of this deal began to sink in. But why such an explosive reaction? Because, once again, this out-of-touch Labour government has placed foreign interests above the well-being of British citizens. Starmer has just handed Indian migrants a golden tax exemption, one that British workers don't get, can't get, and will never get. A loophole has been carved out where Indian workers, and their employers when transferred to the UK, will pay absolutely zero national insurance for the first 3 years. Let that sink in for a moment. As a British worker, you work tirelessly, contributing to the system, paying your taxes. Your employer is contributing national insurance for you, yet if you're an Indian worker brought in on a work visa, you get a free pass. Not only is this unfair, it creates a two-tier system, leaving British workers at a disadvantage. And that's exactly what the protesters were chanting out loud: one rule for us, another for them. Starmer has truly sold out Britain. No tax breaks for migrants, the public cried. And rightfully so. While Starmer and his team attempt to spin this deal as something that will grow the economy, the truth is that British workers see the reality. They're being shafted once again. This is a Prime Minister who, just last month, increased national insurance for British businesses. He imposed higher costs on homegrown companies, burdening them with more taxes, then turned around and handed foreign companies a giant tax break for importing their own staff. And this isn't just a small, insignificant change, this is a massive advantage given to foreign companies while British businesses are left to foot the bill. India's government has already begun to boast about the deal, highlighting how much financial benefit it will bring to their businesses. They're calling it a huge win for India. But what did Britain get in return? A few whiskey tariffs reduced from 150% to 40% over the course of the next decade, a modest reduction in car export quotas, and a vague promise of £4.8 billion in economic growth by 2040. To put it simply, it's barely a drop in the ocean. What has Britain gained? Tax fairness and border control have been sacrificed for cheaper gin. And Starmer has the audacity to call this a victory for Britain. But outside Westminster, the people aren't buying it. Especially not the workers who turned up today to protest, wearing union jackets, waving British flags, people who have paid into this country their entire lives, only to be told that they are second-class citizens. This deal privileges foreign workers over local ones, and here's the kicker: Labour didn't even want to be honest about the numbers. The government refused to release its own internal analysis on how many Indian workers would benefit from this deal. Why? Because they know that if the public found out, they would be furious. And it's not a small number, as they claim. The Indian government has already called it a large deal, and applications for the Global Business Mobility Visa have exploded from 15 sectors to 33. We're talking about chefs, musicians, yoga instructors, all now able to skip the national insurance bill and come straight into the UK. All while British taxpayers are footing the bill for their stay. And what's Labour's justification? They say, oh, don't worry. We've done similar deals with the US and South Korea. Really? Because I don't remember the US negotiating tax breaks for 81,000 of their nationals in just 1 year. And I certainly don't recall American companies pushing to replace British workers on UK soil. That's what this is. This isn't about mobility, it's about displacement. This deal opens the door for cheaper labor from abroad, shielded from tax contributions, making British workers appear too expensive to hire. Even Kemi Badenoch, when she was business secretary, refused to sign this deal, recognizing it for what it is: a direct threat to British jobs. She warned that it would devastate industries like ceramics and aluminium in the UK. She warned that India's visa demands were too high. She was absolutely right. And now, Nigel Farage has joined the chorus of criticism, calling the deal a betrayal. Starmer and his Labour government have completely sold out British workers. It's a sad reality, but it's the truth. Starmer had a choice. He could have said no. He could have stood his ground and pushed back against India's demands. He could have defended the British tax system, which is based on fairness and equality for all. But instead, he bent the knee. All to secure a shaky trade deal, one that hasn't even gone through full scrutiny in Parliament. This deal is so weak that Labour is already scrambling to justify it with cheap spin. Jonathan Reynolds, Labour's trade secretary, was rolled out to say, "Don't worry, these migrants still pay income tax and a health surcharge." As if that somehow makes up for exempting foreign workers from contributing to the very social safety net that British citizens fund each week through their national insurance. This isn't a trade deal, it's a con job. It's designed to make Starmer look like a statesman, while real people suffer under the weight of his policies. And let's not forget, all of this comes just days after Labour suffered a devastating loss in the local elections to Reform UK, a party gaining serious ground on the immigration issue. But instead of learning from this setback, Starmer has doubled down on his flawed approach. Now this betrayal is being met with protest after protest, outside Parliament, outside constituency offices, and outside the businesses already replacing British staff with cheaper, tax-free imports. This isn't some fringe backlash, this is a genuine, working-class revolt against a government that talks about fairness, but is willing to sign away the future of British workers in order to secure a deal that only benefits foreign interests. The people see what's happening. They know this isn't about free markets or mutual benefit. It's about outsourcing Britain's workforce under the guise of international cooperation. Meanwhile, what's Starmer doing? He's already planning another deal, this time with the United States, hoping it will shield Britain from Trump's tariffs. Why? Because he knows the India deal won't be enough. He knows the backlash is real, and he knows he's losing control, because the people have had enough. Enough of broken promises, enough of punishing taxes, enough of being told that they are second-rate in their own country. This is Britain. We built this nation. We paid into the system, and now Starmer wants to tell us that foreign workers deserve more than we do. That's not progress. That's not partnership. That's treason. And now, as we see protests growing, Starmer is witnessing the consequences. The anger won't die down. The message is loud and clear: British workers come first. Not second, not last, but first. And if Starmer won't stand up for them, the people will stand up for themselves. And that's a wrap on today's video, where we've uncovered the shocking details of this controversial deal, and its implications for British workers and the future of our country. It's clear that the anger and protests aren't going away, and now is the time for us to raise our voices and demand better. If you feel the same frustration and concern about the future of Britain, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on these crucial issues, along with all things politics, economics, and matters that affect our everyday lives. Share this video with your friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Together we can make a real difference. Hit the subscribe button now, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update.